Bob Cooney is with the team in Charlotte for the Philadelphia Daily News. He's with us now, where you kind of got two stories, materializing here over the weekend, Bobby, where you look at Embiid obviously putting the team in a bad situation and how they've handled that. You've got Jahlil Okafor not even traveling with the team. Where do you think is a bigger story right now for this team?
I'd have to go with Joel Embiid right now. I think the handling of it all, the possibility that he may not play for the rest of the season, certainly isn't going to play again before the All-Star break. Probably, most likely. Oh, the power just came back on in my hotel. That's a good sign.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, right.
By the way, you just missed Okafor. Got you down, biscuit.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, and I just think because moving forward, he is your biggest piece. He is your foundation. And anything that goes wrong with him has to be the number one story all the time from here on out.
So Embiid, he's up on the stage, he's dancing, obviously looks horrible. But that being said, what does that say about his health?
You're saying he's not a good dancer, Mike?
I actually didn't think he was a very good dancer, to be honest with you. His moves have a lot to be desired there. He certainly was into it, but he needs a little help.
Yeah. That, believe me, who am I ever to say that somebody shouldn't have fun? I mean, I think fun's the best thing to have, but the timing probably wasn't great. The perception obviously isn't going to be good when he's up doing something like that. I'm sure the higher-ups look at it and cringe. But that's who he is, and I don't know if you can curtail that. I don't know as a general manager, as a coach, as the owner of a team, I don't know how you could curtail this guy from doing things like that, and nor do you want to. Was it smart if he has a small tear of his meniscus that he's doing stuff like that? Probably not. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can't stop these guys from living a life, and that's the way Joel Embiid lives his.
So does that indicate that he is not seriously hurt?
This condition, it appears it's something he can play with. I'm hearing rumblings that it was a pre-existing condition, that it didn't happen on this awkward fall against Portland. It's something that from what I'm told, he can live with for now. The bigger question is what happens in the future. I mean, is there a chance of tearing it more? Does it mean surgery, will ultimately have to be performed? Is it a condition where the knee could get worse as time goes on? These are all questions that we need answered, and to me, he looks okay. I got to tell you guys. I mean, I see him at practice. I see him at shoot-arounds, and he has a good sweat going, and he's spin dribbling, and he's dunking, and he's running, and he's cutting.
Right.
He looks okay. So maybe it is something that he can play with. You just have to navigate the pain.
Bob Cooney with us. He's with the Sixers in Charlotte. So great column by you today, by the way, Bob. And one of the things you touch on, is it hard for the fans now to believe the Sixers with any injury news?
Yeah, and look, I understand that the team doesn't have to let us know everything that's going on. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you just kind of blatantly are dishonest with the fans and holding truths and making your coach not give, answer every question, but not allow him the opportunity to answer them fully, I don't think that's right. What's wrong with saying what's wrong with the player? Here's what we think may happen, and we hope to have him back at such and such a point. That's it. It's over with, done with.
Right, because it starts to make people start to come up with the conspiracy theories, like, as I said to Pete beforehand, it's like Hinkie did the 3 years of digging, told Colangelo, hey, here's the shovel, and then he started digging too fast and said, whoa, I'm getting to the bottom of this hole faster than I really wanted to. Why don't we pump the brakes a little bit, because I can endure 1 year of this while he went through 3.
Yeah. There's it just leads to so many questions. Like Brett Brown and I have had this conversation before, and when you're just honest with things and about things, you can feel free about anything you're saying, and you feel good about the direction you're moving because you believe in it and you're honest with it. when you're not, when you're, half truths and not telling, the honest and not giving honest answers to legitimate questions. Sure, you're exactly right, Mike. It leads you to believe that, all right, what the hell's going on here? Is there something more than just this? Is it worse than we even know about now? So that's what it lends to, and that's why I wrote the column today.
So, Bob, has this team learned that honesty is the best policy? I mean, they told the fans, we're going to be bad, we're going to stink, but together we're going to build. Shouldn't the team have learned that by now?
Yeah, you would think. You would think. I mean, the one thing about Philadelphia fan base, if nobody knows this, and I don't know how they couldn't, is they are one of the smartest fan bases in the country. No question about it. I've been all over the country. You're not getting over on sports fans in the Philadelphia area. So it blows me why you do this. If you looked at Brett Brown on Saturday when he came out to talk, he was ticked off. He wasn't happy, and he said, go talk to Brian Colangelo. Well, that was a little frustration just coming out of a guy who's been wonderful over 4 seasons of not showing frustration. But I think it was just time, and it very well might have led to him why he said we're not playing Jahlil Okafor because a trade's going on. So it's I don't know. It's not good. It's fixable, obviously, but being honest with the fans, I think, is first and foremost all the time.
Bob Cooney's with us with the Sixers in Charlotte. Bob, obviously Okafor not there tonight, most likely not tomorrow. Obviously the trade stuff, but do you get any feeling that something could happen between now and by the time the All-Star break happens that I understand they're not playing because they don't want him to get hurt, and that's kind of something that goes on. But it seems that, you would be in an imminent process if that was to happen. It seems now they're still kind of hoping that the right deal's there.
Yeah, now I talked to some people around the league, and I was told more than once that it's a possibility where, Brian Colangelo still could be looking to get a little bit more than a lot of people think Jahlil Okafor is worth. So, if you would ask me on Saturday after they came out and said, what they said about him sitting because we're in the middle of trade talks, if I was a betting man, I would have bet, all right, a deal's done. They just have to get it approved, cross the T's, dot the I's, and move forward. But the fact that nothing's come through yet, it shows, I think, that they're still shopping him and they're still trying to find a pretty good deal.
Yeah, of the stuff that's out there, does anything open your eyes, or do you think this is the stuff that's kind of been, filtering its way out there seem like a deal that's just to make a deal because he's not a fit, or that some of them say, hey, if you could do that, that would be a smart or a good deal for him?
I haven't heard any, and when you talk to people, attaching names is always dangerous and a lot of times not what people want to do. But I haven't heard anything in my mind that has been like, wow, if they could get that done, that's a great move. I think it goes more towards what the other thing that you said, Mike, is that you're just kind of doing it to get it done. And that is why I don't think you have to hurry to do this. I really don't. I don't think you have to do it by the trade deadline. I don't think you have to do anything, maybe up until draft night. And maybe on draft night there's a team that's, that has more leverage or that wants to play a little bit more. Teams that you're dealing with now mostly are teams that are looking to make sure they can make a strong playoff push. And maybe a Jahlil Okafor will help that cause. So that's a limited amount of teams. I think once you get to draft night, everybody's involved. Everybody's in play. You're talking about a new season. So, I wouldn't mind them being patient with this at all if that's what it has to come to.
Bob Cooney with us at Bob Cooney76, his Twitter handle. Bob, any update on Ben Simmons? Any Ben Simmons news?
Believe it or not, we didn't even I don't even think we brought up Ben Simmons' name this morning when we talked to the coach and players. And with the other stories going on, that wasn't even brought up. But the last update we got was that he wasn't doing 5-on-5 yet, and in order for him to get on the court and play, Brett Brown said he's going to have to minimally play 5-on-5 at least 5 times, more than 5 times is how he put it. So during this All-Star break, is that a time where maybe guys are going to be around? He can get in the gym and play some 5-on-5 during the 9 days off. Maybe that's something they could do. But until that happens, all we're going to hear is progress is normal, and they hope to see him on the floor this year. I do believe that. I do believe that they would like to see him on the floor this year.
So, in closing, do you think we will see Embiid play again this year?
I would say 60-40, yes, we will see him again.
Wow. Surprising a little bit because, this kid, like as you said, he's out there dancing, and as you said, he's at the workouts. He looks like a guy who could probably go out there and score 32 against the – oh, he did that already. Sorry. All right.
Yeah, he did that. Yeah.
Bob Cooney's with the Sixers. If something happens, follow him at Bob Cooney 76.
Yeah, power's back on now. You can tweet away, Bob.
Thanks, pal.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.